Welcome to 2023. So has it been a year since we met last? Well, no, just a few days ago, but oh, how time flies. I'm Atika Farooqui, and this is a beautiful beginning to a beautiful year where we celebrate the crazy people in films and we immerse ourselves in the amazing stories on the celluloid. Cheers to the sometimes pleasant and sometimes harsh winters in India. And let's begin this show with the headlines. This week, watch a whodunit movie that will leave you perplexed, entertained, and at the edge of your seat. Another movie recommendation is a story that may just change your life. It re-engineers the mind of the man who consumes the story. The team of Trial by Fire tells the story of one of India's worst man-made tragedies on screen. And Pakistani singer Zeb Bangash talks about her love for nature in her new song. Let's begin by talking about some really nice movies that I should recommend to you for you to watch this week. First of them is Knives Out. It's a 2019 American mystery film written, directed and co-produced by Rian Johnson. It follows a master detective, Benoit Blanc, investigating the death of a patriarch of a wealthy, dysfunctional family. The film stars an ensemble cast that includes Daniel Craig as Blanc, alongside Chris Evans, Anna de Armas, Jamie Lee Curtis and many other outstanding actors. It's Rian Johnson's homage to Agatha Christie novels, and it delivers loves and twists and thrills with aplomb and a lot of class. Rian Johnson made his debut with his low-budget debut feature film Brick in 2005 and is known to always choose the not-so-traveled path in his narratives and storytelling. The setting is a gothic pile in modern-day New England where crime writer Harlan Thrombey, played by Christopher Plummer, has recently celebrated his 85th birthday and dies dramatically in his attic study. It looks like an open and shut suicide, but it could be another way too. The Daniel Craig starrer is 2 hours well spent with a hilarious and just clever enough whodunit. Think of it as reading an Agatha Christie masterpiece. And now moving on to Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit was a horse born on May 23, 1933 and died in 1947. It was a champion thoroughbred racehorse in the United States who became the top money-winning racehorse up to the 1940s. He beat the 1937 Triple Crown winner War Admiral by 4 lengths in a 2-horse special and was voted American Horse of the Year for 1938. A small horse at just 15.2 hands high, Seabiscuit had an inauspicious start to his racing career, winning only a quarter of the first 40 races that it ran, but became an unlikely champion and a symbol of hope to many Americans during the Great Depression. Seabiscuit has been the subject of numerous books and films, including Seabiscuit, the Lost documentary, the Shirley Temple film, The Story of Biscuit, a book, Seabiscuit, an American Legend, and a film adaptation of the same book, which is the 2003 American sports film co-produced, directed and written by Gary Ross. And at the 76th Academy Awards, Seabiscuit received 7 nominations, including Best Picture. In the early 20th century, as America entered the automobile age, Charles S. Howard opens a bicycle shop in San Francisco. He's soon selling automobiles, becoming the largest car dealer in California and one of the Bay Area's richest men. In the wake of the Great Depression, Canadian John Red Pollard's family is financially ruined, and he's sent to live with a horse trainer. Years pass and Pollard becomes a jockey, but amateur boxing leaves him blind in one eye. After their young son is killed in an automobile accident, Howard's wife leaves him. He obtains a divorce in Mexico, where Pollard is struggling to make his mark as a jockey. Howard meets and marries Marcela Zabala, where he acquires a stable of race horses. He hires horseman Tom Smith as his trainer. Smith convinces him to buy a colt called Seabiscuit, and Seabiscuit at that time was viewed as a small, lazy, unmanageable colt. Under Smith's innovative training, Seabiscuit becomes the most successful racehorse on the West Coast and an underdog hero to the public. The movie's races are thrilling, and writer-director Gary Ross and his cinematographer John Squarsman get amazingly close to the action. I recommend you do watch this one. Let's move on to the interview of the week. Is the purpose of cinema only to entertain or to educate too? To just stimulate or to engage too? Cinema is one of the most powerful mediums to make you and I a better person. Delhi's Uphaar Cinema fire tragedy was waiting to be seen through this medium, a horror which many still live to recollect and recount. I speak to the actors and the director Prashant Nair that have made a film called Trial by Fire that releases on Netflix. Siddharth Jain has produced this real-life horror. You play the parents of those two children,
Boy and a girl.
a boy and a girl, who were killed in the tragedy by suffocation. Now, when you play such characters, it can have two kinds of effect on an actor. One, the trauma can make you really suffer through the process of doing it, and the other is you can even emerge as a much stronger person because you've lived that fight that the character has fought in those many years. How has it impacted you in the process?
I don't define it as two ways though,
Yeah.
because that's reducing it and simplifying it. It's not as black and white as that. You're right, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's far bigger and more nuanced than that. So for example, to take what you've said, I used it to get into character.
Yeah.
So it actually helped me go into the zone a lot easier, but it also made it more difficult to get out of the zone because you're aware that this is a true story.
Yeah.
If it was fiction, theek hai, kar lete hain.
Yeah, it never happened after all.
It still
in
affects
fiction,
you,
yeah.
but you know, at least I have trained myself to step out of that zone because in the past I've not been able to, and it's not been good for me. But I will definitely say, to your point, that this one didn't allow me to get out of it that easily.
See, every character has his own journey. Neelam started from a place, you know, like we don't show Neelam what was happening before. We show Neelam what has happened after that.
Right.
You know, so 25-year of journey after the incident. So the story starts from a space where it is, you know, it is a little something which will take a toll on you because we are portraying something which is which happened, and the person is going through this from past 25 years, and every day she gets up and she goes to the court and she come back home and again she get up. So it's like not 1, 2 or 3, it's a 25 years. She's still doing it, and today also she's doing it. So it's inspiring. It's very difficult to stand up every day.
Yes.
You feel like giving up. You want to just move on, you know. So you learn from Neelam's journey that no, don't give up.
Prashant, we know a lot about this case because it's been there in everybody's conscience for the last 20 years on the TV, on the internet, in the newspapers. ऐसा लगता है जैसे हम जानते हैं उन लोगों को और ये tragedy हमने भी सही है. So, what all have you put in this 50-minute into 7 series that we don't already know of?
Well, I think, you know, the facts are present, and sometimes when you hear about something over and over and over, you're almost desensitized to it.
Yeah.
So, so I think what we wanted to really focus on is the human cost, the what it takes out of you when you have to go to the court and you rely on the court for justice. What does that take out of you personally? You know, obviously we touch on the judicial system and its complexities. We touch on all these issues that everyone is known on. But I think what's new in this series is that firstly it's really like inside the skin of these two people along a 25-year journey, and what it takes to stand up. We also touch on all various lives, some victims' families, some people who were working in the cinema. We kind of visit all of their lives to kind of really give a multi-perspective look at what happened, why it happened, and what it means for us. Most importantly, that it could happen to you today. And that's very much the case. Things have not gotten better. In fact, they've gotten worse.
Really?
I think so, in terms of public safety incidents,
Yeah.
in terms of the number of cases stuck in the judicial system.
Yes.
It's not getting better. Thanks to the Krishnamurtis, a lot of important changes have happened.
You as a director and you too as artists, what are you passionate about?
My passion is my profession, I can tell you that much.
You don't do that many films though.
Yeah.
You're working every day on the set then.
You mean outside of film?
You do spend time on quality cinema, that I know,
Yeah.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
Apart from that, what really keeps you very happy and occupied?
Trying to just push the kind of movies and narratives that I want to make,
Yes.
that's why it takes time. If I was to have just kind of given myself up to, let's say, joined one of the groups or been a part of a studio, it would have been a lot easier. But then I wouldn't have delivered the kind of product I believe in.
Yeah.
So a lot of my time and space and effort goes into shaping my narrative, shaping the industry in a way that I would like to have space for my own self.
True.
You make a lot of sacrifices along the way. You don't get to make the amount of films you would like to make. And you're kind of operating out in third gear.
Yeah.
It also, even the projects that you do manage to pull through, even those are kind of compromised. So a lot of your time goes there, and so I suppose you have to be passionate in order to make those sacrifices and get at least a little bit of your vision out there into the world, and hope that this will then inspire others to take it one step further.
Yeah.
And maybe go in that direction that you could have with this subject but you could not. But now you brought it to this level where there's nowhere else to go but a little forward.
That's true.
You're adding
You're adding
a step to the
yeah.
industry and giving path to others to kind of
True.
keep building on this road. I mean,
True.
I think that's where the passion goes.
Rajshri, you're also an activist. She once told me, and then I read up about that she's the daughter of a farmer who's now adopted villages, and you're doing so much more than acting. You should make a big deal about it. I mean, a woman of her age and doing films and then adopting a village and things like that. Talk more about it. What is it that keeps you occupied, and how do you do it? How do you manage your time with all of these things?
Yeah, I don't want to make a big deal about it. I feel it's my responsibility to do it. I come from that background, and I feel I have to do something which is more sustainable. So that's the reason the village I chose. I worked on groundwater, I built school toilets and a healthcare, and now I'm working with 30 more villages.
And are people helping you with finances and donations for the...
Initially, it started with, I asked my friends, then I registered my NGO as an...
What's the name of your NGO?
Nabhangan. Nabha is sky and Angan is courtyard.
Nabhangan.
Nabhangan.
Beautiful. It's a Marathi word.
Yeah, it's a Marathi
Yeah.
word. That's what it started, and I'm glad that people are supporting. Now it's a registered NGO, and I've built 3 schools with that.
Everybody has been trying to push the envelope. She just said, and I also asked this from many directors about this culture of casting someone basis their followers. I was in conversation with the director of Delhi Crime right here in this place, and he said, no matter how many followers a person has or how many millions, but I need an actor who knows how to do it in that 10 seconds when the light is going. So that's a great actor.
Yeah.
What is your feeling about the industry? Where would you like us to go? And what's your vision for yourself?
Well, I mean, in terms of like what I look for in actors, I think it's just an openness. It's a willingness to kind of go on the journey together, to dig deep, to give yourself to a project. Acting, it's a strange thing. It's still a mystery to me. I don't know how they do it. I have no idea what happens before and after. I don't have the feeling that any 2 people do it the same way. So, as a director, you just kind of have to try and adjust to what they do, because it's magical. It's a mystery, like how they transform themselves and like under such pressure and do something that's real. So I'm actually in awe of it. It's for me the most inspiring part of my job. As far as the industry itself, look, I think we have a lot of terrific talent in the industry. If you look at any of the festivals, like generally there's an Indian film there. And then personally for me, I would keep hoping to be able to make the projects I want to make in the way I want to make them with the people. That's the most important thing.
When you work on a project which has 8 series as opposed to a film which is like 2 hours, do you get paid 8 times the money?
Yeah. You do.
Do you? It's 8 times the work, right? So
As in, no, obviously you get paid for your time. You know, a film might take you 2 months, a series might take you 8.
yeah, right.
I mean, it also depends on the people who are hiring you.
Yeah.
And the kind of subject you're making. So it could vary,
Right.
you know. Sometimes passion projects don't pay much.
Yeah, right.
Not in terms of cash, but a lot in terms of creativity. Sometimes non-passion projects pay a lot in terms of cash, but not in terms of...
And you worked in Angry Indian Goddesses. The director was Pan Nalin. Pan Nalin's film Cello has been like India's official entry to the Oscars. So I wish you all the best. And the director all the best. I mean, you're not in the film, but you've been in one of the films that were directed by the director.
There is a glimpse of me. There is a shot
Cello?
of me, yes.
Where?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
On the screen.
On the
Ah,
screen
yeah.
when I'm
Yes.
dancing, so it's there. Yeah.
So we
No,
hope
thank
to see
you.
you
Wish luck.
at the
Yeah.
academies, ma'am.
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. All the best for Trial by Fire. I'm really looking forward to watching all the episodes. Thank you. Have a great
Thank
day.
Thank you so much.
Time for a short break on the show. When we come back, we have singer Zeb Bangash talking about a new song where she derives a lot of inspiration from nature. She's a very popular singer. She sang for many songs in film Highway, and her songs from Coke Studio are very popular. Stay tuned after the break. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Zeb Bangash of the famous Zeb and Hania fame from Coke Studio has a new song out. This one is titled Saaf Hawa, which talks about loving the nature. My colleague Vishal Chatkara spoke to Zeb and her new song and why the famous Punjabi folk song Jann Kitha Guzariye keeps inspiring singers across all generations, from our own Ayushmann Khurrana to Ali Sethi and so many more.
तेरे दम से है हम तुझसे हमको मिला ऐ हवा सांसों का सिलसिला तू ना माने हदें ना कोई सरहदें हर चमन की है तू बाग़बान मरहमे ज़ख्मे जाम मेहरबान.
Zeb, that was of course your latest song, Saaf Hawa, which is composed by Shantanu Moitra. The song gives a message of unity and talks about clean air and love for nature. So how was this idea born, and what was it that you wanted to say through this song?
So, you know, this song was actually commissioned by Saaf Hawa, this NGO that's kind of linked to the United Nations. And they've been working on clean air issues for the past 20 years. And what we really wanted to, you know, apart from just talking about the issues, over the course of the 1 or 2 years that this song was being imagined and it was being, you know, kind of fleshed out, I think one thing that we all kind of felt was that Hawa, which is like the main element that gives us life, we wanted it to be kind of an ode to air, you know.
You know, last year on Eid, you dropped your another single titled Shireen Guftar Dari. That is a Persian folk song. Is that the space you love to explore more than singing a song, say an Afghani song or in Urdu?
So, you know, this has been, it's funny because a lot of people think that I am either, you know, Persian or Afghan, or I get Tajik a lot. It's not that that's the only music I like to sing, but it's just that, you know, it's such a beautiful musical tradition. It's such a beautiful language. And I just feel that, again, it's a space that's really being clouded by a lot of talk around politics and this and that. And I feel that sometimes regions that are kind of in that space, their culture really gets sidelined. The response that I get from fans from Tajikistan, from Afghanistan, from Turkmenistan, it's like it's something else.
Your songs are very popular on TikTok and on Insta Reel. The flip side to it is that it makes a singer anonymous. Do you agree that user only are hooked to that 20-second, and because they're actually putting their own video to the song?
I think in older times when, people only heard music through videos, our faces were a little bit more recognizable. So it's funny, sometimes people may even know your song, like they might be diehard fans of your song. They may not even know your name, right? So because they might have gotten to that song through, someone else's reel, or they might have got or it might be the way songs are now titled. And we're just becoming like savvy now to know, okay, your name must show up and things like that. So that kind of thing, it does. And I mean, it's a little overwhelming for those of us who are just who are migrants into this new technical age. We haven't grown up with it. So we are we're overwhelmed by it.
We're talking about singles today. You have sung a song called Chan Kitha Guzare Aaye. I love your rendition of the song, although Ayushmann Khurrana has done one and many others. What is it about this song and these lyrics, Chan Kitha Guzare Aaye, that singers and listeners from all generations connects the most?
It's very difficult to say what it is, but there's definitely something, that I think that the tune is just really beautiful, and it's really got some irony in it. Because, obviously you're still referring to your beloved as, Chand, which is, my beloved, my moon. And yet you're basically, having a kind of a row with them. So it's got a mixture of emotions, and it's got both playfulness, and also because of the scale of it, it also has a little bit of soz and all in it. So I think different people connect to different aspects of that. चन किथा गुजारी आई रात वे मेरा जी दलीला के बात वे ओ चन किथा गुजारी आई ओ चन किथा गुजारी आई रात वे कोठे ते पेड़ कोठरा में माही कोठे बैठा काबला तू ते मैनू भुल गयो मैं फिर भी तेरी आबला विचन किथा गुजारी आई रात वे मेरा जी दलीला ते बात वे चन किथा गुजारी आई.
And on that musical note, we have come to the end of this week's edition of Now Showing. We will meet you same time next week with my review of Vishal Bhardwaj's son, Asman Bhardwaj's film, which stars Arjun Kapoor and Tabbu in the lead, and the name of the film is Kutte. And we have many more interviews and things on the show, but that's for next week. Right now, it's goodbyes and thank you for watching.